Kara Jensen tightened her grip on the controls of her small scout ship as it drifted over the cratered surface of Zephyria 9. The planet was known for its violent storms and abandoned settlements, a place where the galaxy's more reckless explorers often vanished without a trace. Kara, however, had a purpose. She wasn't searching for lost treasure or ancient technology this time. She was searching for signs of life, anything that could indicate the remnants of the rumored battles that had once scarred this region of space. The planet's atmosphere was thin, tinged with dust that glowed faintly under the light of a distant binary star. Kara's sensors detected scattered debris, metallic fragments, and occasional bursts of radiation. It had all the markings of a battlefield long abandoned, but her gut told her there was more beneath the surface. She adjusted the ship's landing thrusters and descended toward a large, jagged crater, hoping the sensors had been right. When she landed, the silence of the crater was almost unbearable. The only sound came from the hum of her ship's engines and the soft hiss of settling dust. Kara stepped onto the rough terrain in her reinforced boots, scanning the area with her portable sensor. There was something unusual here. Amid the charred wreckage of a ship that looked unlike anything Kara had seen, a faint energy signature pulsed weakly. She froze. The signature wasn't large, but it wasn't like any natural phenomenon either. Kara moved carefully, her pulse quickening. She crouched behind a piece of twisted metal and peered toward the source. There, half buried in the rubble, was a figure. It was humanoid, but taller than any human and encased in armor that shimmered faintly under the dust. The armor was broken in places, revealing hints of iridescent skin underneath, and the figure's chest rose and fell weakly with shallow breaths. Kara held her breath. This was no mere machine. This was a living being. "Hello?" Kara called softly, stepping closer. Her voice trembled slightly. She had encountered alien life before, but nothing like this. The figure stirred, and a faint whisper reached her ears, not through the ship's comm, but inside her mind. "Please, help us," the voice said, trembling, almost like a leaf in the wind. Kara froze. She had never heard anything like this before. Telepathic communication was theorized, but extremely rare. Her hand instinctively went to the blaster at her side, but the figure made no threatening move. Kara inched forward. I can help. Are you hurt?" she asked, her voice steadying. The alien's eyes, glowing faintly with a soft blue light, met hers. There was something in those eyes that made her heart tighten, a mixture of pain, fear, and hope. "I am Xylan," the alien whispered, each syllable echoing gently in Kara's mind. "We need freedom. Please, buy us, human." The words were strange, almost nonsensical at first, but Kara felt the weight behind them. It wasn't about commerce in the way humans thought. Xylan's words carried desperation and trust, a plea for help that she instinctively understood. "Buy you? I don't understand," Kara admitted. She knelt beside Xylan, carefully checking the broken armor and the faint energy pulses that indicated injury. "I don't know how to buy someone, but I can help you. I can get you off this planet." Xylan's glow flickered weakly. "Not like trade. You, humans, strong, clever. You can free us. We cannot, alone." Kara realized that Xylan's species had been enslaved, trapped under powers far stronger than they could fight themselves. And somehow, humans, this young, unpredictable species, were considered capable of changing their fate. Kara helped Xylan to his feet. The alien's strength was minimal, and she had to support him as they made their way toward her ship. Every step was careful. The terrain was uneven and littered with sharp debris. Xylan's telepathic voice remained in her mind, sometimes murmuring fragments of memories, images of ships in chains, of endless corridors where his people were kept, of battles lost to machines and alien enforcers. Kara shuddered at the thought. She had faced pirates and mercenaries, but she had never imagined an entire civilization held in captivity across the stars. Once inside her ship, Kara activated the medical scanner and life support systems. Xylan sagged into the seat, his armor clinking softly as he relaxed slightly. Kara studied him carefully, noting the alien's physiology. His skin shimmered in shades of blue and silver, and though weak, there was a resilience in his posture, a quiet dignity that no injury could erase. "Tell me everything," Kara said gently, her hands hovering over the controls. "I need to understand if I can help you." Xylan closed his eyes, and the images in Kara's mind grew sharper. She saw glimpses of the aliens' fleet ships that moved with grace and speed, warriors trained in forms of combat that Kara could barely comprehend. And she saw the Syndicate, the oppressive force that had captured them, a network of alien traders and slavers that spread across dozens of star systems. "They took us," Xylan whispered. "We resisted, failed. You, humans, different. You survive, adapt, change. You clever, brave. You can save us." Kara felt a mix of awe and burden. Humans were known for resourcefulness and tenacity, but Xylan's belief in her was humbling. It was as if her species' greatest qualities were magnified through alien eyes, recognized in ways that humans themselves sometimes overlooked. Kara plotted a course off Zephyria 9, careful to avoid patrol routes that might still roam the sector. She adjusted the shields and engines, all while keeping a careful watch on Xylan. Every now and then, the alien would murmur something softly, a mix of gratitude and instructions about safe routes. Weak as they were, Kara listened, her mind racing with both the challenge and the possibilities. As they broke orbit, Kara felt a strange bond forming. This was not just a rescue mission. This was the beginning of something larger, an adventure that would test her ingenuity, courage, and compassion. And somewhere deep inside, she realized that Xylan's trust was a reflection of humanity's potential. Humans might be young in the galactic stage, but their qualities, creativity, adaptability, and empathy were their greatest weapons. The journey ahead was uncertain. Syndicate ships might track them, and the unknown dangers of uncharted space awaited. Kara glanced at Xylan, who was quiet now, eyes closed, but radiating a faint warmth. She couldn't promise him safety, but she could promise something more important: effort, determination, and refusal to surrender. "Where do we go first?" Kara asked aloud, though she knew the answer was uncertain. Xylan's glow brightened faintly, almost imperceptibly, and the faint whisper echoed in her mind once more. "Anywhere. Far. Human. Lead us." Kara smiled faintly, gripping the controls. She didn't know how this story would end, but she knew this much: humans had the strength to defy odds, to carve a path where others saw none. And as the stars stretched before them, endless and mysterious, Kara felt a spark of hope, not just for Xylan, but for humanity itself. For the first time in her life, she understood what it meant to be looked upon as a beacon in the galaxy, not because of sheer power, but because of something far rarer: the capacity to fight, to survive, and to bring freedom where none had existed before. As the scout ship jumped into faster-than-light travel, leaving Zephyria 9 behind, Kara leaned back in her seat, letting the hum of the engines fill the cabin. Xylan stirred beside her, weak but alive, and she knew that their journey had only just begun. Somewhere in the dark stretches of the cosmos, humans had a role to play, a role that no one had predicted, and one that could change the fate of an entire alien civilization. Kara exhaled slowly, a mixture of fear, excitement, and determination coursing through her. The stars outside the viewport seemed brighter somehow, more alive. This was the beginning of a story that would test limits, challenge assumptions, and show the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. And Kara Jensen was ready to lead the way. The stars stretched endlessly outside the viewport as Kara guided the scout ship through uncharted space. She kept one hand on the controls and the other on the edge of the seat, alert to the faintest signal that might indicate pursuit. Xylan, still weak from his injuries, sat beside her, his glowing eyes flickering as he observed the galaxy with careful attention. Even in his fragile state, Kara noticed a quiet intelligence in the way he scanned the stars, as if he could read them in a way humans could not. "Are we being followed?" Kara asked, her voice steady but cautious. She had learned from experience that hesitation in space could be deadly. Xylan's voice whispered in her mind, soft and distant. "No, not yet," he said, though the weight in his tone suggested he had sensed dangers she could not. "But they will come. Syndicate. Hunters. Relentless." Kara nodded. The word relentless alone made her pulse quicken. She had faced pirates, rogue AI, and mercenary bands before, but the syndicate sounded like something older, smarter, and more organized. Kara's fingers danced over the control panel. "Then we make sure we're faster and smarter," she replied. "We'll use every trick we know." She activated the stealth systems and rerouted the energy output to the engines, giving the ship a temporary speed boost. Xylan's eyes brightened faintly. He whispered fragments of alien maneuvers and evasive routes, most of which were too complex to understand fully. Kara listened carefully, extracting patterns and logic that she could adapt. "Human. Clever. Different," Xylan murmured. "You. See. Solutions. No other. Species. Can." Kara smiled faintly. The alien's admiration was humbling. Humans were young in cosmic terms, yet Xylan's species, even in their desperate state, recognized something special about them. The ability to improvise, adapt, and survive. Hours passed, the stars shifting subtly outside the viewport. Kara kept the ship on a careful course, avoiding main trade lanes and known patrol routes. Xylan, although weak, began to share more about his people. They had once been warriors, scientists, explorers capable of incredible feats. But their civilization had fallen to the merciless greed of the Syndicate. Their fleets had been captured, their colonies enslaved, and those who resisted were imprisoned, or worse. Kara shivered at the thought. They built ships, faster, stronger, more advanced, Xylan whispered. But humans, adaptable, creative, unpredictable. You survive, succeed, where others fail. Kara felt a mix of pride and responsibility. The galaxy might see humans as young, untested, and reckless, but she understood now that unpredictability could be humanity's greatest weapon. Suddenly, a faint pulse appeared on the ship's sensors. Kara's heart raced. She zoomed in on the readout. A small fleet of sleek black ships had entered the sector, moving in formation. Their energy signatures matched the descriptions Xylan had given of Syndicate hunters. "They've found us," Kara muttered. Xylan's glow intensified slightly, signaling alertness. "Yes, they track. Persistence. Unstoppable. But humans. Clever. You can..." His voice trailed off. Kara knew the alien was encouraging her, trusting her instincts, even as danger closed in. Kara's mind worked quickly. She calculated the distance, speed, and trajectory of the hunters. The scout ship was fast, but against multiple pursuers, she would need more than speed. She activated the ship's cloaking field, a technology designed to bend light and energy around the vessel. It would not make them invisible forever, but it could buy them precious time. The black ships shifted course, scanning with sophisticated sensors. Kara adjusted her vector, using the planet's faint gravitational field to curve her path, creating a trajectory the Syndicate ships would not anticipate. She held her breath, watching the readouts. Each maneuver was delicate, a balance between speed, stealth, and survival. Xylan whispered quietly, suggesting minor course corrections, and Kara incorporated them seamlessly. Hours passed in tense silence. broken only by the quiet hum of the engines and Xylan's telepathic murmurs. Kara realized something remarkable. Her ability to combine human improvisation with Xylan's alien tactics created an advantage even the Syndicate could not predict. It was a dance of logic and instinct, a demonstration of why humans were feared and admired in the galaxy. Finally, Kara spotted a cluster of asteroids ahead. She plotted a daring route through the jagged rocks, hoping to lose the pursuers. "Hold on," she said aloud, gripping the controls tightly. Xylan leaned forward, his eyes glowing with both fear and anticipation. The scout ship weaved through the asteroids with precision, narrowly avoiding collisions. The black ships followed, but one by one, they collided with asteroids, or were forced to retreat as Kara used the rocks to block their path. When the last Syndicate ship disappeared from the sensors, Kara exhaled, her body trembling from the stress. Xylan's glow dimmed, a sign of relief. "Human. Clever. Remarkable," he whispered. Kara smiled faintly. The alien's words felt like validation, but she knew the journey was far from over. They found temporary safety in the shadow of a gas giant, its thick atmosphere hiding them from scanners. Kara shut down non-essential systems and let the ship drift, giving both herself and Xylan a moment to recover. Xylan's injuries were still serious, but the medical scanner indicated that his condition was stabilizing. As they rested, Kara reflected on what she had learned. Humans were capable of more than brute force. Their strength lay in ingenuity, adaptability, and the ability to remain calm under pressure. Xylan had recognized it immediately. And now Kara understood that these qualities might be the key to freeing his people. "Where do we go next?" Kara asked, breaking the silence. Xylan's glow brightened faintly as he considered the question. Safe, haven, hidden. Old station. Trade. Station. You. Clever. Find. Path. Kara nodded. She understood that Xylan was giving her hints, trusting her to navigate a path that would lead them closer to his people without alerting the Syndicate. The next leg of their journey took them through dense asteroid fields and regions of unstable space where gravitational anomalies twisted their course. Kara relied on both her instincts and Xylan's guidance, combining human improvisation with alien insight. Each successful maneuver reinforced her confidence. Humans might be young in the galaxy, but their creativity and adaptability gave them a unique edge. As they approached the old trade station, Kara noticed signs of recent activity. Small drones flitted near the outer docks, scanning for intruders. Xylan tensed. They watch. Suspicious. Careful. Human. Lead. Kara smiled faintly. "I've got this," she said. She adjusted the ship's energy output to mimic the station's docking signals, a trick she had used before with smaller settlements. The drones hesitated, scanning the vessel. Kara held her breath, then slowly aligned the ship with the docking bay. The station's automated gates recognized the signal and opened, allowing them entry. Kara exhaled in relief, but she knew the danger was not over. Inside, they would need to navigate alien bureaucracies, old security systems, and possibly hidden traps set by the Syndicate. She glanced at Xylan, whose eyes reflected trust and hope. The responsibility weighed heavily on her, but it also filled her with determination. Inside the station, Kara moved carefully, scanning each corridor and docking bay. Xylan whispered details of hidden passages and weak points in the station's structure, and Kara incorporated them into her path. Together, they moved like a team, human ingenuity guided by alien experience. In a quiet observation deck, Kara finally allowed herself a moment to look out at the stars. The galaxy was vast, filled with dangers and mysteries, but also possibilities. Humans had only just begun to explore it, yet their qualities, creativity, resourcefulness, empathy, made them capable of feats that older civilizations could not achieve. Xylan's trust in her was a testament to that truth. "We're not safe yet," Kara said softly, though her voice carried confidence. Xylan nodded, his glow steady now. "But human. Clever. Brave. Capable. We survive. Because you lead. Kara smiled. For the first time in her life, she felt the weight of what it meant to be human in the galaxy. Young, unpredictable, and yet capable of shaping the fate of entire civilizations. They settled into a temporary safe zone within the station, preparing for the next phase of their journey. Kara knew that the Syndicate would not give up easily, and that freeing Xylan's people would require more than courage. It would require strategy, intelligence, and relentless human ingenuity. But as she watched Xylan resting beside her, she felt a spark of hope. Humans were not just survivors. They were problem solvers, creators, and champions in a universe that had never seen their kind before. The journey ahead would be dangerous, full of challenges and tests, but Kara was ready. She had Xylan's trust, her own skills, and the unshakable belief that humans could rise to any challenge. And as the station's lights flickered softly around them, Kara knew that the adventure to free an entire civilization was only just beginning. Kara checked the navigation panel one more time as the scout ship drifted into orbit around the Syndicate hub. The station was massive, an intricate labyrinth of docking bays, energy conduits, and towering spires. From space, it looked like a fortress, designed to intimidate and protect at the same time. Kara's heart pounded, but she felt a thrill of determination. This was what humans excelled at, turning the impossible into possible through ingenuity, improvisation, and courage. Xylan hovered beside her, still weak but increasingly alert. Careful. Traps. Everywhere. They notice everything, he whispered in her mind. Kara nodded. She knew that every step had to be calculated, every move precise. There would be no room for mistakes. First, we need an entry point that won't trigger alarms, Kara said aloud. She scanned the station's energy fields, looking for patterns and gaps. She noticed a service dock on the far side that seemed older, less maintained, with a weaker shield frequency. Here, she said, pointing. We can slip in there if we time it right. Xylan's glow brightened slightly. Human. Clever. Path. Yes. Proceed. Kara grinned. The alien's trust fueled her confidence. It was a feeling she had grown accustomed to, yet never ceased to amaze. Her other species looked at humans and saw chaos, unpredictability, yet there was strength in it. She adjusted the ship's engines to a low-power approach and engaged a subtle stealth modulation. The scout ship crept into the service dock, passing through flickering energy barriers and automated security sensors. Kara's pulse raced as she maneuvered between obstacles, each movement precise and deliberate. Xylan whispered softly in her mind, pointing out weak points in the station's structure. Small maintenance shafts that could serve as shortcuts or hiding spots. Kara absorbed the information and adapted, weaving his suggestions into her plan. Once inside, the station was a maze of corridors and control rooms. Kara kept the ship hidden in a maintenance bay while she and Xylan disembarked. The human's intuition and the alien's knowledge complemented each other perfectly. They moved quietly, avoiding patrol drones and cameras, using shadowed alcoves and air ducts to navigate. Kara marveled at how Xylan's memory of the station's original design, even after decades, helped her bypass traps that a human alone would have struggled with. Human. Adapt, change, solve, unlike anyone else. Xylan whispered. Kara smiled quietly. That was humanity in a nutshell. Creative, resilient, and unpredictable. Every challenge the Syndicate had built to control others became something Kara could use against them. They reached a control hub, a central room where the Syndicate monitored movements within the station. Kara studied the terminals, noting the complex alien interface. Her fingers moved over the controls, instinctively manipulating signals, rerouting power, and cloaking their presence. Xylan guided her, explaining the alien logic behind the systems. Kara adapted quickly, using human improvisation to simplify complex alien mechanisms. A low hum of approaching footsteps alerted them. Kara ducked behind a console as two Syndicate guards entered. Xylan froze beside her, barely breathing. Kara watched, noticing patterns in their movement. Using a discarded maintenance panel, she created a small diversion, a flicker of light, a brief electrical pulse, and the guards' attention shifted. Without weapons, Kara had used nothing but clever manipulation and timing. The guards moved on. Unaware of their true proximity, Xylan's glow pulsed in quiet approval. Hours passed as they navigated the station, each corridor and control room presenting new challenges. Kara used every tool available, her knowledge of human mechanics, her ability to improvise, and Xylan's memory of hidden pathways. They bypassed security grids, unlocked doors using improvised access codes, and created temporary diversions to move unnoticed. It was a slow, tense process, but every step brought them closer to Xylan's people. Finally, they reached a section of the station where Xylan's people were held. The containment units were sophisticated, a combination of energy fields and biological monitoring systems. Kara studied the mechanism, analyzing how to disable it without triggering alarms. Xylan whispered instructions, but Kara realized that human ingenuity could enhance his plan. Using a combination of manual overrides and small, precisely timed energy pulses, Kara manipulated the containment system. She rerouted power from non-essential circuits to weaken the energy fields just enough for Xylan's people to break free. The first few aliens stirred, confusion and hope in their eyes. Kara's heart raced. They, free, careful, humans, lead, strong, Xylan murmured. Kara worked quickly, repeating the process for each unit. Slowly, the prisoners were released, their movements cautious but growing in confidence as they realized they were no longer trapped. Kara felt a surge of pride. This was what humans could do, turn desperation into freedom through cleverness and determination. A sudden alarm blared. One of the patrol drones had detected minor disturbances. Kara cursed under her breath, but kept calm. She grabbed a nearby communications console and sent false signals, creating the illusion that the containment area was secure. The drones paused, recalculating, buying them precious minutes. Kara guided Xylan and the freed aliens through a hidden maintenance corridor, moving swiftly but carefully. As they navigated the corridors, Kara noticed the alien prisoners adapting to her instructions quickly. Her guidance, combined with their own knowledge and Xylan's insights, created a flow of movement that the Syndicate could not anticipate. Kara felt a deep sense of accomplishment. Humans were young in the galaxy, but their ability to inspire and coordinate under pressure was unmatched. Finally, they reached a hangar bay where Kara had hidden a small transport vessel. The freed aliens moved cautiously, grateful yet wary of further dangers. Kara activated the ship's engines and prepared for launch, all while monitoring Syndicate movements. Xylan hovered near the controls, his glow steady, a mixture of relief and admiration. Human, you, clever, resourceful, unlike anyone, we thank you, Xylan whispered. Kara smiled faintly. We're not done yet, she said. We need to get you all to safety. The aliens nodded, understanding that freedom was only the first step in a longer journey. As the transport ship lifted off, Kara maneuvered it through the station's docking corridors, avoiding detection with precise timing and clever use of shadows and energy shields. The freed aliens, though unarmed, moved with purpose, following Kara's lead. It was a demonstration of human ingenuity in action, a young species taking impossible odds and turning them into victory through creativity, coordination, and courage. Once in open space, Kara engaged the ship's stealth mode and plotted a course toward a distant safe zone. Xylan and the others rested. Exhausted but free, Kara took a moment to look out at the stars, reflecting on what had just happened. Humans were not the strongest species in terms of raw power, but their creativity, adaptability, and ability to inspire others made them formidable in ways no one had predicted. Xylan hovered near her, still weak but steadily regaining strength. Human, you save more than us. Show potential. Your species, hope. Kara nodded. His words reinforced what she already knew. Humanity's uniqueness lay not in weapons or technology alone, but in the qualities that no other species possessed in the same combination: imagination, determination, and empathy. The journey ahead was still dangerous. The Syndicate would not abandon their pursuit, and other challenges awaited in uncharted space. But Kara felt a surge of confidence. Humans had faced the impossible before and had always found a way through ingenuity and collaboration. Now, they had proven that even the most advanced and oppressive forces could be outsmarted by those willing to think differently. For the first time, Kara understood why Xylan had called for her help. Humans were unpredictable, capable of improvising in ways other species could not anticipate. Their ingenuity was a weapon, their resilience a shield, and their determination a spark that could ignite hope across the galaxy. Xylan's people had been trapped for decades. But now, guided by human skill and creativity, they had a chance at freedom. As the transport ship glided through the darkness, Kara plotted the next phase of their journey. They would need to find a safe haven, rebuild strength, and plan the liberation of other colonies. The Syndicate would pursue them relentlessly, but Kara was ready. Humans were not just survivors, they were problem solvers, innovators, and leaders in a universe that had never fully understood their potential. Xylan rested beside her, whispering gratitude and quiet encouragement. Kara adjusted the ship's trajectory, feeling the weight of responsibility but also the thrill of possibility. She knew that the galaxy was vast, full of dangers and mysteries, but also full of opportunities for those willing to act with courage, intelligence, and compassion. This mission was far from over, but Kara felt a deep certainty in her abilities and in the power of humanity. The freed aliens were proof that humans could change destinies, defy odds, and inspire hope where none existed. As stars streaked past the viewport, Kara Jensen embraced the challenge, ready to lead, guide, and fight for freedom in a galaxy that had only just begun to recognize humanity's true potential. Kara Jensen guided the transport ship through the dark expanse of uncharted space, the freed aliens moving quietly in the cabin. Xylan hovered beside her, his glow steady but his energy still recovering. The galaxy outside seemed indifferent, stars stretching endlessly. Yet within the small vessel, hope had taken root. Kara's mind worked quickly, considering their next steps. They had freed Xylan's people from immediate captivity, but the Syndicate was still out there, a looming threat that would not abandon its pursuit. "We need a safe haven," Kara said softly, glancing at Xylan. "Somewhere they can recover, regroup, and plan for what comes next." Xylan's glow flickered with agreement. "There. Hidden sector. Remote. Long forgotten. Humans. Lead." Kara nodded. The human instinct to explore, adapt, and find solutions had guided them so far, and it would guide them still. The journey to the hidden sector was slow, navigating through asteroid fields, gas clouds, and radiation zones that would have been deadly for anyone unprepared. Kara relied on her experience, her intuition, and Xylan's knowledge of alien navigation. Together, they moved like a single unit, human ingenuity and alien insight, blending seamlessly. As they traveled, Kara observed Xylan's people. They were recovering slowly but visibly stronger, their confidence returning with every passing hour. Kara noticed how they looked at her not just with gratitude, but with a mixture of respect and curiosity. Humans were different, they seemed to realize, capable of thinking, improvising, and leading in ways that no other species could. Kara felt a warmth of pride, tempered with the awareness of responsibility. During one quiet moment, Xylan spoke directly into her mind. "Human. Your species. Rare. Combination. Clever. Brave. Compassionate. You. Inspire. Hope. We. See. Future." Kara smiled faintly, humbled. It was rare for another species to understand humanity's strengths so clearly. Humans were young in the galaxy, but their resilience, adaptability, and empathy made them uniquely capable of changing the course of events. Xylan's people had survived centuries under oppression, yet they now looked to Kara for leadership, trusting her judgment completely. Suddenly, a series of alerts sounded from the ship's sensors. Kara's heart raced. Multiple ships had appeared on their trajectory. Black, sleek vessels moving with precision and intent. The Syndicate had found them again. Kara adjusted the ship's shields and engines, preparing for evasive maneuvers. "We're not out of danger yet," she said. Xylan's glow intensified. A mix of fear and determination. Kara's mind raced. They couldn't outrun all of them. The Syndicate ships were faster and more heavily armed, but humans had a strength that no machine could match. Creativity under pressure. Kara analyzed the ship's formation, their energy emissions, and possible weaknesses. Then, using a combination of stealth modulation and precise bursts of speed, she guided the transport through a narrow corridor of a nearby asteroid field. The Syndicate ships followed, their sensors struggling to track the small vessel through the shifting rocks. Kara smiled faintly, feeling the thrill of human ingenuity in action. Using the environment to her advantage, she led the pursuers on a wild path, forcing them to adjust constantly while she maintained control. Xylan whispered guidance, his alien instincts providing insight. But it was Kara's quick thinking and adaptability that turned the tide. Hours passed in tense silence as they navigated the asteroid field, until finally the Syndicate ships gave up pursuit, unable to maintain their speed through the shifting obstacles. Kara exhaled slowly, relief flooding her senses. Xylan and the freed aliens stirred, their expressions a mixture of exhaustion and newfound hope. Human, clever, unstoppable, lead, future, safe, Xylan whispered. Kara nodded, understanding the significance. They had survived, not by brute force, but by combining human creativity with Xylan's knowledge. The hidden sector they reached was a breathtaking place, an uncharted cluster of planets and moons, shielded by thick gas clouds and faint gravitational anomalies, offered natural protection from sensors. Kara guided the transport to a safe landing on a small, fertile moon. The atmosphere was thin but breathable, and the surface held pockets of water and vegetation perfect for recovery. Xylan's people stepped onto the moon, cautious at first, then slowly exploring, their confidence returning with every step. Kara watched them, feeling a sense of profound accomplishment. Humans were capable of more than survival. They could inspire, lead, and create freedom where none had existed before. Xylan approached her, his glow bright and steady now. "Human, you saved. More than us. You showed strength, ingenuity, courage. Your species. Beacon." Kara smiled faintly. The words resonated deeply. Humans might be young, unpredictable, and underestimated by older civilizations, but their potential was limitless. Over the next days, Kara helped Xylan's people establish a small settlement on the moon. She taught them basic human engineering techniques, adapted to their technology, and worked with Xylan to integrate their knowledge. Together, they created shelters, power systems, and communication arrays. Kara marveled at the way Xylan's people adapted to human methods, learning quickly and improving their own processes. The combination of human improvisation and alien experience created something extraordinary, a small but thriving community, independent and resilient. Despite their temporary safety, Kara knew the Syndicate would not give up. They would continue hunting, trying to reclaim the aliens they had lost. Kara considered the possibilities. Humans were not just survivors, they were thinkers, planners, and innovators. She began devising strategies to protect Xylan's people and challenge the Syndicate, using deception, ingenuity, and the natural features of the hidden sector. Every decision relied on human creativity, combined with Xylan's knowledge of alien systems. One evening, Kara stood outside the settlement, watching the stars shimmer above. Xylan joined her, his glow reflecting the soft light. "Human, you're kind, rare, capable, hope, future," he whispered. Kara nodded, feeling a deep connection between her species and his. Humans were young, yes, But their qualities, curiosity, resourcefulness, empathy, gave them power that no older, more advanced species could match. Xylan's people had seen it firsthand. Kara smiled faintly. "We've come a long way, but this is only the beginning," she said softly. Xylan's glow pulsed with understanding. Together, they would prepare for what lay ahead, protecting the freed aliens, outsmarting the Syndicate, and perhaps inspiring other civilizations to recognize humanity's potential. Days turned into weeks. Kara trained Xylan's people in human problem-solving techniques, teaching them to anticipate dangers, adapt strategies, and think creatively under pressure. The aliens thrived under her guidance, learning to combine their technology with human ingenuity. Kara realized that this small moon was becoming more than a safe haven. It was a testament to what humans could achieve in the galaxy. One morning, scouts reported an approaching fleet on the sensors. Kara and Xylan studied the readings. The Syndicate had located them, a small but dangerous force, approaching quickly. Kara's mind raced. She knew brute force alone would not stop them, but humans had an edge: unpredictability and creativity. She gathered Xylan's people, explaining a plan that relied not on weapons alone but on clever use of the terrain, energy fields, and coordinated maneuvers. The ambush was precise. Syndicate ships entered the system, confident in their superiority, only to find Kara's traps and diversions in place. Asteroids were shifted, energy fields manipulated, and the freed aliens coordinated attacks with Kara's guidance. The humans' ability to improvise, combined with Xylan's insights, created chaos among the Syndicate ranks. Ships collided, engines overheated, and the attackers were forced to retreat. Kara's heart raced with exhilaration. Humans had once again proven that ingenuity could triumph over brute force. After the battle, Kara and Xylan surveyed the results. Xylan's people were safe, stronger, and inspired by human leadership. "Human, your species, remarkable, clever, brave. You change galaxy," Xylan whispered. Kara smiled, feeling a deep sense of pride. Humans were still young, but their creativity, adaptability, and empathy gave them a unique strength that older civilizations could not match. As night fell on the moon, Kara looked out at the stars, thinking of the journey ahead. The Syndicate remained a threat, but now she had allies, knowledge, and confidence. Humans had shown that they could free a civilization from oppression, outsmart superior forces, and create hope in the darkest corners of the galaxy. Xylan hovered beside her, his glow soft but steady. "Human, you lead, teach, inspire, hope, future. We follow your path." Kara nodded. It was a moment of quiet triumph, a recognition that humanity's potential had been witnessed and respected. Humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and capable of greatness. Xylan's people would carry the story of human ingenuity throughout the galaxy, spreading hope and inspiring change. The journey was far from over. But Kara Jensen knew this. Humans were more than survivors. They were creators, leaders, and champions. They could turn despair into hope, danger into opportunity, and impossible odds into triumph. And as the stars glimmered above, Kara felt the thrill of possibility. Humanity's story in the galaxy was just beginning, and its light would shine far and wide, inspiring allies, intimidating foes, and proving that the young species from Earth could rise to greatness. Kara leaned back, her eyes on the distant stars. Xylan and his people were safe, recovering, and learning to thrive under human guidance. The Syndicate might return, and new challenges would appear. But Kara felt ready. Humans were unpredictable, inventive, and unyielding. They could survive, adapt, and inspire. The galaxy had underestimated them for too long, and somewhere, deep in the cosmos, Kara knew that humans were being watched, studied, and perhaps feared. But she didn't care. Humans had qualities no one else had: courage, creativity, empathy, and determination. With those, they could change destinies, liberate civilizations, and leave their mark on the stars. Kara smiled faintly, turning to Xylan. "We've done something important," she said softly. "And this is only the beginning." Xylan's glow brightened in silent agreement. Together, they would continue to chart a course through the galaxy. A human leading the way, showing that even a young species could shine brilliantly among the stars. The moon settled into quiet, the stars twinkling above. Kara felt a deep sense of purpose. Humanity's journey was just starting, but its impact would be felt across systems, inspiring hope, ingenuity, and courage wherever humans and their allies reached. She knew one thing for certain. Humans were not just part of the galaxy, they were becoming a force that could change it forever.